For those who don't know me, my name is Layla Guruiwi and I am a proud Yolngu woman of the Gulkula clan, and I am here in the key forum on hosting duties alongside my Māori Maitali Marika and also Shelley Ware. So I hope you're ready for day 2 of Garma, and we now have the CEO of the Yothuyindifoundation, Denise Bowden, who will be coming up in a minute to do some opening remarks. Denise Bowden is a descendant of the Tagalog people born on Jawoyn country. She is the CEO of the Yothuyindifoundation and carries with her extensive experience in Indigenous affairs. From a grassroots perspective, Denise is an advocate for education, reform, economic development and cultural preservation, emphasising the importance of Indigenous knowledge and heritage. Her mind is always on the future of the children. So please welcome Denise Bowden.
Thank you, Layla. Good morning, everybody. I acknowledge our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, the Minister for Education, Jason Clare, Minister for Social Security, Amanda Rishworth. I also recognise the member for Lingiari, Marion Scrimger, and locally may I also acknowledge Mark Inyaguela, independent member for Mulka. Most especially, I acknowledge the new Minister for Indigenous Australians and my friend Mullindiri McCarthy. I've known Mullindiri nearly all my life and I'm very proud of her, and I know she's a person of great decency and strength. Congratulations, Senator. I would also like to acknowledge the leadership and mentorship of Linda Burney, who has been such an incredible strength to us. A friend of our former chairman and a friend to us all, she will remain. Thank you, Linda. We wish you all the best in your journeys ahead, and we look forward to seeing you at many Garmas to come. Friends, this year, as much as any year, Aboriginal people have had to show resilience. Our ancestors made us a strong, intelligent, determined people, and we have needed all these qualities as we experienced the referendum result on the 14th of October last year. I have to be honest, it has been hard to listen to non-Yolngu people tell us why they voted no, and to hear the confident way we are told that our ideas were misguided. It's difficult to hear the words of other Aboriginal people who tell us the voice was too much or not enough. It's soul-crushing to see the pain of those who led the fight and gave so much for the cause. As Aboriginal people, we knew what it was that was missing in the system of government that controls so many lives. We sought the power to have a voice in our own affairs, to be able to grapple with the hand of government controlling everything from Darwin or Canberra. But it's done. It's done. It's finished. And we can't change that result. We can only go forward, and forward we must go. Ladies and gentlemen, the status quo is not acceptable. The established system of government and administration, no matter how hard it tries, cannot close the gap. That much we can all agree to. I acknowledge the good intentions and the hard work of so many people in government, but we really do have to make systemic change. That is, after all, what the voice was about. And that's what the Yothuyindifoundation has been repeating for decades. History tells us that the Australian system of government works beyond the control of Aboriginal people. Again, this is why we wanted a voice to government. We wanted the power to have a say in our own affairs and deal with the horrors of disadvantage and the underlying causes that we all know to exist. Yet don't be fooled by the beauty of Garma here today. On this site, the day-to-day life of Yolngu people remains forever challenging. The data says as much. Welfare still dominates. All of the statistics that make the headlines are laid out before us. For a decade, the Yothu Yindi Foundation has argued that the Closing the Gap statistics reflect a fundamental failure in the structure of the Australian federal system, starting with the Commonwealth and running down to the states and territories. Our people suffer because of these failures of governance imposed upon us. Each year, the Closing the Gap report is worse than the last. A voice would have altered that course, and I commend the Prime Minister for the courage he had in supporting the promise of the referendum and for fighting so hard for its success. On my bookshelf at home sits an Ursula Le Guin collection of short stories, the most powerful of which is her reflection on our challenge of conscience in The Ones Who Walk Away. Some may know it, many will not. It is a story of a place that enjoys all the goodness and prosperity that life has to offer. It is a place of love and happiness, and its people are perfect. Perfect, except for one cruel bargain that has been struck. And I'll read from the text. In a basement, under one of the beautiful public buildings of Omelos, or perhaps in the cellar of one of its spacious private homes, there is a room. It has one locked door and no window. The floor is dirt, a little damp to the touch. The room is about 3 paces long and 2 wide, a mere broom closet or disused tool room. In the room, a child is sitting. It could be a boy or a girl. It looks about 6. But actually it is nearly 10. It is feeble-minded. Perhaps it was born defective, or perhaps it has become imbecile through fear, malnutrition, and neglect. They all know it is there, all of the people of Omelos. Some of them have come to see it. Others are content merely to know it is there. They all know. Some of them understand why, and some do not. But they all understand that their happiness, the beauty of their city, the tenderness of their friendships, the health of their children, the wisdom of their scholars, the skills of their makers, even the abundance of their harvest and the kindly weathers of their skies depend wholly on this child's abominable misery. This story can be applied to us all. It asks us, do we accept the cruel bargain where the dispossessed and disenfranchised suffer while others prosper? Do we accept that our pleasure depends by necessity on that suffering? Do we acknowledge the existence of the bargain at all, or do we revel in the opulence and the distractions of our consumerism in the modern world? Do we just walk away, as did the citizens of the town of Omelos, when the knowledge of the child in the basement became too much to bear? Or do we take up the responsibilities and collectively make change for the better, to do what it takes to create a future that is better than the past? At Garma, we have set out the best of our world before you, and it is beautiful. But metaphorically, there are children in basements right throughout Australia. So let us not forget those children trapped by their circumstances, the mothers overcome by despair, and the fathers tormented by their powerlessness. Let's strengthen ourselves for the task ahead, and remember that after the fire comes the rain, then new growth, from where springs the hopes and dreams of the future. Let's find the strength of renewal and new beginnings for the country and for its people. Thank you.